we discussed what? Transformation, transduction, and conjugation. Transformation, we discussed two types. We discussed artificial, actually, let me start with natural and artificial. Natural, we discussed two types. We discussed the model of what? Strep, pneumoniae, Haemophilus, influenza. Let me summarize them real quick. Strep pneumoniae is gram-positive. This is gram-negative. This is a coccus. This is a rod. This one binds, you don't have to know more detail than what I'm just describing. Streptococcus pneumoniae binds DNA indiscriminately, right? Brings it in. This one binds it specifically and brings it in. You don't have to worry about transformosomes, translocasomes, autolysins, all that jazz. So you don't have to know. So again, gram-positive, coccus, specific. Sorry, non-specific. Gram-negative, rod, specific. Artificial, we discussed two examples, right? You can electroporate or heat shock. Either way, you're going to bring the DNA into the cell. The DNA that's brought into the cell collectively, I mean, in general, is called the exogenote, right? What's already there is called the endogenote. Transduction is part of new material, so let me summarize it while we're at it. Transduction is two types. We talked about generalized, specialized. Here again, even though it's new material, you can go into more detail, but the idea here is that generalized, anything can be transferred but at a low frequency. Here, only certain genes can be transduced, but at a high frequency. So we'll talk a little bit more about it shortly. Conjugation, we went into plasmids first, so you have to know characteristics of plasmids. They're not essential, true. They're only found in prokaryotes, false. If it goes in and out of the chromosome, it's called an episome. What's the host range? What's the specificity? I mean, host range and five types, right? Cholecinogenic, produce colicins that are harmful to closely related bacteria. Virulence, cause disease. Metabolic, allow things to be broken up. Fertility is what? Is what we're going to describe. Male, female, I'll tackle it next. And there's one more. R, which is resistance. Any questions about any of this? Now, conjugation, same thing. In fact, if conjugation, we talked about three crosses. F plus times F minus, H of R times F minus, and F prime times F minus. And there are quiz questions like this, and the exam had questions like this, be able to answer questions like this. These are our choices. So let me say this is A, this is B, this is C. I'll have D2, and I'll have E, all of the above, let's say. So you might get questions like this. Which one of these transfer DNA? Which one of these transfer DNA? All of them. I mean, that's what we were discussing. All of them will transfer DNA. Which one of these transfer chromosomal DNA of any size? Chromosomal DNA. And the answer is two of them. Which ones? B and C. Because the only one that will only get plasmid DNA in is the first one, F plus F minus. Which one will change the sex of the female? Remember, the F minus being the female here. A will change it because she will become an F plus. And C will change it because she will become F prime. B will not change it because the F plasmid does not get in its entirety. Which one involved F pili? Which one involved the F pilis? All of them. Because that's what's going to get the female to latch onto the male. He literally grabs onto her brings her closer and mates with him. So all of them involve the epithelials. Which one of these are gram-negative? And they all said, all of them, because they're mating with each other, right? It's the same species. This is E. coli. All of them are E. coli. All of them are gram-negative. Which one will create a merodiploid? Remember, merodiploid is a partial diploid. So B creates a partial diploid at least for a short time. C creates a permanent partial diploid because it's going to have double the genes of A, B, etc. So I'm not going to go into, there are meet session notes, the notes are there, so I'm not going to exhaust it. There was one more conjugation system that we did not, it's the gram-positive system. The gram-positive system I only talked about Enterococcus faecalis. And with that, please note that with Enterococcus faecalis there's no pili involved. Rather, they use chemical signals called pheromones. There's aggregating binding substance, they conjugate. They still involve plasmids, but it's not pili. So questions about those? Again, I spent a little bit more time on the old, because the new I think is much more straightforward. It's fresher.